So are you...
Yes.
Sorry. Familiar with the term useless lesbian?
I know those words separately. I don't really understand them together in some sort of a context.
I figured because you're half gay.
Right.
I'm full gay.
Correct.
Okay. So I'll explain to you what useless lesbian actually means, because there's a little misnomer, nomenclature, the words,
whatever the fuck it
whatever
is.
big
I
word I'm
hate
trying
it,
to.
So proceed.
So I'll explain what it is, and then I'll tell you that it's happened twice in my life, and I'll tell you what the most recent story is, because I've been wanting to tell you so bad.
I'm so proud of you for like holding that in.
It's been rough. So useless lesbian. It is not just a lesbian being useless. It's either one of two conditions happens to actually have a useless lesbian. A useless lesbian, in the first instance, is when a girl is flirting with a lesbian and a lesbian completely fucking misses it. Oh. Just is like, oh, she's being nice to me. And somebody's like, no, dumbass. Like,
no, that's flirting.
That's flirt. And then she's like, no, she's just being...
Okay, I see.
No, she's just being nice. And then just completely misses, like, no, she was touching you. She was asking questions about you.
She touched your forearm, bitch. Like, pay attention.
She touched
like that.
She complimented the veins in your hands. Like, so that's first instance. The second instance is when a lesbian sees another attractive woman and just goes complete fucking stupid.
Right, yeah.
Right, just brain off. Like, done, gone.
Let me show you that I can do my taxes, ma'am. Like, let me show you.
No, it's actually just full. Not there's the hamster stopped running on the wheel. Brain no work. So the second instance happened to me.
Oh no.
The other day. Another podcast, I'll tell the first story, but that's a little more lengthier than this one. But I hope my dad doesn't hear this, because it involves him. My dad was involved somehow to some degree in both of these instances, and I'm so fucking pissed about it.
That's really funny.
It's fucking terrible. I hate it so much.
I hate that I'm laughing at you, but I can't stop.
I want you to laugh at me, because this is... I need someone to find enjoyment in this, because I did not. I was panicking. I was full gay panic. I went full useless lesbian. So.
Right. I mean, it happens to everyone at some point.
Yep, at some point. So so my dad texted me. He was like, hey, if I order pizza, will you go get it? I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll go find you.
Oh my God, it was that long ago? Jesus Christ. Okay,
no, it was like
different pizza story.
Different pizza story.
I don't know why I'm like, that's the only pizza you ever ordered.
2 days ago. 2 days ago. Okay. So back context. So backstory for the listeners. The son of the owner of the pizzeria that we go to get our pizza lives just around the corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my dad's friends with him. He with my dad. And sometimes he asks my dad to borrow his equipment. And so usually when the guy asks to borrow something, it's usually my dad's tractor. So my dad would be like, yeah, fucking just borrow the tractor.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, just let me know when you're done with it. And the guy's super nice and respectable and always like gives my dad back like something in return. And usually it's pizza. Yeah. So
reasonable.
So apparently I didn't know this. My dad had lent him the tractor recently. And apparently that exchange of service was not returned on his end. So, and I didn't even know my dad lent him the tractor. I don't even pay attention to what my dad's doing half the time. So I'm like, okay. So my dad's like, go get the pizza. So going to the same pizza parlor that this guy works at. And I know what he looks like, and I know absolutely nothing else about him. What his wife, children, nothing what looks like. Right. So I'm just like, I know this guy. He, I guess, knows who of me. Like, I've never conversed with any of them.
Right.
So my dad just does that, not me. So I go get the pizza. And my dad gives me his card to pay for it. So I go into the pizzeria over here, and then I get the girl at the counter puts down the pizza, and I'm pulling out the credit card. She's like, no, you're good. And I'm like, because usually, like, if the guy's going to cover it, my dad tells me, hey, he's going to cover the pizza. Like, don't worry about it. But this time I didn't even know. So I'm like, no, pay pizza?
No, excuse, I have plastic put in thing for money. Thanks.
Take my money. What do you mean? So I start like, I'm like, what do you mean? So I have my mask on.
Yeah.
So my mask is on. So everyone else in the restaurant does not have their mask on. Kills my soul.
No one here does.
No.
It makes me want to die. But here we are.
Scream. So I got my mask on.
Yeah.
So, and it's so hard to not want to like pull your mask off when you get confused, because you're like, what? So,
because it makes your brain work better when you don't have a mask on, or
right?
Something. It also helps you hear and see better too.
When you're in reverse and you take your mask off and you turn on the music, you see better. So, So she's like, no, you're good. And I'm like, I look into the kitchen and I don't see the guy. I don't see him. So I'm like, what do you mean? And so I asked him, I asked her, did he cover the pizza? She's no, but she did. And I look up and I'm like, she who? And as soon as she says that, she says the woman's name. And she just mid-working stop, looks up and goes, what? I'm looking at her. She's looking at me. We have no idea who the other person is. And my brain just goes, pretty lady. Done. Fucking gone. And I'm like, no. I'm 26 years old. Stop. So brain's gone.
Can't stop, won't stop.
I don't know who this woman is, but she's purty. And I'm like, what the fuck? What do I do? So I don't know what to say. I don't know who she is. I don't know what to do. So finally she goes, so the girl who was checking me out was like, you covered this pizza, right? And she goes, oh yeah, like I texted my husband and he said to cover the pizza because the tractor got lent. And I was like, of course I barely heard half of that. All I heard was my husband. I was like, oh, you're the wife. Oh, okay. So I try to muster up whatever mental social skills that I can in the moment, going full dumbass.
God damn, I was so excited. I was like, you're gonna find a lady friend?
Yeah, so I was like, oh, she's like beautiful long blonde hair, like beautiful girl, like beautiful. And then I was like, oh, you're the wife. Oh shit. Okay, so I was like, okay, reel it in. So I, as politely as I could, I gave her a wave. I said, thank you, I appreciate it. And then I ran so fucking fast out of the store.
Imagine.
So fucking fast out. So I'm like, idiot. Like, you knew what you were supposed to do. Like, introduce yourself, say you're the daughter. Like, dumbass. So I knew what I was supposed to do, but brain went full, like, the hamster stopped running.
Right. Man,
I'm not done.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm not done. So I get home.
Okay.
I get home. And I can't tell my dad what happened.
Right.
So I tell him that the pizza got covered because he was not aware that the pizza was going to get covered. So I get back to the house and I'm like, yeah, so apparently his wife was there. And so he's like, and so I explained to him the situation. And then he goes, you're an idiot. And I'm like, what? And he was like, you should have at least introduced yourself.
Oh, no.
I had to stand there.
Oh, no.
And take a 30-minute lecture about why I need to make connections with people and introduce myself, and I couldn't tell my dad. I couldn't tell him why. I couldn't tell him why I went full stupid and didn't introduce myself.
I'm just imagining you trying and being like, couldn't talk, pretty girl.
Pretty girl, bring with dum-dum. So I had to take that.
Oh, bless your sweet soul.
I had to take all in, and I couldn't tell him. Because I was like, so finally I was like, not that I didn't want to talk to her. It's just that I didn't want to talk.
It's just that she was pretty.
It was so like I was so embarrassed by that situation because I tried really hard to fix my social awkwardness, and so I'm at the point where I fixed it, but it's like there's still some where it's like
well, I mean, it really is like you see a really attractive person and you're just like what words?
So
here we are.
I had to just my dad tell me all of these scenarios in his life where introducing himself and just striking up a conversation with a person has gotten him farther in life. And I'm just
certainly,
like, yeah, but you're not a you're not a useless lesbian. You don't understand. So,
oh my God.
So
okay.
That's the second time that's happened in my life. I'll tell you the first story is far worse.
Okay.
So I'll tell you that at a different time.
We'll save that for a different day.
When I can handle telling that story.
So funny. God. Oh, bless you. Bless you. You, oof. Big oof.
I hated it so much.
Oh, I can imagine.
I was like, oh my God, thanks. I did like a flirty hand wave.
Oh.
And then ran out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, totally understandable. That happens sometimes. Somebody's just being really nice and you're like, oh, okay. Okay. And then that's it. That's all you can say.
That's as much interaction as you're getting out of me because I can't think right now because you're pretty.
Yep. It is what it is.
It is what it is. But you want to know what it also is?
Yes.
Spooky stories.
Right.
Okay.
There's other reports that he did it to try and keep that original little girl happy because maybe she wasn't so friendly. So that's also a thing.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's...
Evil little children.
Right. There were conflicting reports back and forth on that, but here we are. She could have been a demon. I don't know. Then, so that all started in the 1950s.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So that was a while ago.
It's been a hot minute.
Okay.
So in 2001, Don Julio is 80 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He was found dead of a heart attack face down in the water in the exact same place he claimed to found the girl.
Ooh-wee.
Yes.
Okay. No, I don't like that.
Correct.
Okay.
Same position, same like area.
Oh, what the fuck?
Right. A little much.
Too much.
Yeah. So after his death, people in the area decided to upkeep the island and use it as like a haunted tourist attraction, which, fair.
Okay. It's already set up to look fucking creepy as shit, so why not capitalize on that?
It's so scary. It's so gross. I hate it. So whenever the locals were near the island, especially at night, they would hear the dolls whispering to each other.
I'm sorry.
Is how they would describe it. So
The fuck? Yeah. No.
It just gets worse the more you think about it, right?
Yep.
Because some of them are just heads. That's all they can do.
Some of them are just bodies.
Talk.
Okay.
So these like reports of whispering would happen all times of the day day and night, but it was more prevalent during the evening.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Especially when the sun goes down. Let's jam, boys. So so the locals, this is the thing that gives me the goose chills and I don't like it. Mm-hmm. The locals would claim that the dolls would call you to them. Like the island itself would draw you in even if you didn't want to go. They would whisper at you, smile, wink, turn their heads, giggle, talk to one another, and just beckon you to them.
So people are seeing... So this is an island.
Yes.
In the middle of like this body of water. And so people on the shore are seeing these dolls move and shit and...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No?
Yeah. Or like as they go by on a boat, they'll see the dolls, see them move. And it's not just like arms move, like it's the whole fucking doll moves. Or they'll like go by and one day the doll's in one position, the next day it's in completely different position. That kind of thing. So that sounds so fun, doesn't it?
Set it on fire.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Set the whole thing
Burn
on
the
fire.
whole bitch.
Yep.
So when people come on those tours, they've actually started bringing baby dolls as an offering to the spirits of the island.
Oh my fucking God.
Sort of as a, hey, please don't follow me home, stay here kind of thing. So,
okay.
If you're going to go visit a haunted place, may as well like appease the demons.
Appease the demons.
So,
yeah. Oh, God.
know what I mean?
Yep, I do.
So that's all that I could find in my like hard Google search about the island. The rest of this comes from Zach Bagans and Ghost Adventures.
Oh yeah, because they went hard.
They did like 1 to a million, like 0 to a million, like
and
fucking
it was
go.
rough when they went there because I saw a little bit of it because I wanted to wait because I knew you were gonna do this topic and I had to research a little bit for Harold the doll.
Mm-hmm. No,
fuck off. No,
she just did the Catholic cross. Y'all
nope.
like, oof.
Harold the doll freaks me out. Still gotta do that part 2. I
We're gonna talk about Harold a little.
I saw a little bit of it, and then I was like, "Nope, we're done," because I was having that freak out fest that night, and I couldn't handle it.
Understandably, because it's pretty spooky.
It's
like,
pretty rough.
Yeah, you went into just like a little bit of Harold's part, not like the whole thing.
No.
So, which I appreciate. Thank you very much.
So I wanted you to cover that too on yours.
It's a little much. So
tell me.
In the very beginning of the episode, they're doing, like the history like they normally do of the land and the areas. So they go in and talk about how in 1911, there was a Mexican Revolution. And a lot of the victims of the revolution were actually dumped into the canals. So just stacks of bodies dumped into the canals.
No.
Right.
Ugh.
It kind of makes sense why there's so many dolls if spirits are in them, doesn't it?
Yeah. Ooh. You made that connection. Don't like that.
You're welcome. So they say that the spirit of the little girl will sometimes actually wander to adjacent islands. Because, I mentioned how there's multiple islands on this ghost tour, right?
Yes.
So there's another island where there's an entire play of a reenactment of the La Llorona story. The whole thing.
Okay. And
there's no children in this play. Like, people will just come visit and, like, watch. It's up on a stage. And sometimes people will report, hey, why is there a little girl on the stage? Like, where's that little girl? What's she at?
Out.
Right. So people who are visiting have seen her. The actors have looked down and seen a little girl and are like, what the fuck? That's not supposed to be. Who are you?
Get off the stage.
Get out. So that happens, which is a little spooky. So nobody knows why she traverses across to a different island, because like you can see the La Llorona play from the island of the dolls, but not well, you know, like it's pretty far away. But she'll travel over there, which kind of spooks me out.
She could not, though.
Right? Zach talks to some of the people who do the play and do the performance, and of course they have a translator. And she kind of goes through the story of one time she was performing, and she looks down and sees this little girl next to her and is very confused, just continues on with like what she's doing, and the girl's gone when she turns around. Like, super spooky. It's kind of creepy. I don't like it.
No little children.
So it's in the middle of the day when they proceed to like go to the island, and it's exactly what you would imagine a creepy doll island to be.
Shack with just dolls hanging up everywhere.
Correct. So there are literally dolls everywhere, like tied to, like multiples tied to the same branch of a tree. Like every single tree is completely full of dolls, doll pieces. The outside of the little shack is covered head to toe. It doesn't matter. It's like Barbie dolls, like baby dolls, like bits of little plastic arms and feet.
Ew.
I hate it. I said feet because I'm so freaked out. Like little fetuses. There are even some that are like tied to the exterior grass of the island and are like half submerged.
Ew.
Because the water level goes up and down because it's a canal.
No.
I don't like those. Those freak me out.
That's fucking gross.
So Zach, of course, Zach's biggest fear in the world, I think, is dolls.
He hates them.
So much. So the idea of him going to an island where it's literally just haunted fucking dolls, like the thing he hates, I'm like, bless that man. Like, how could you do that? No. So they roll up, or, you know, wave up, however. And he does not want to get off the fucking boat, which, to be fair,
I wouldn't get off either.
No.
Shit.
I'd be like, all right, it's time to go home, guys. We wasted money flying here. No.
Abort. It's all right.
I'm done. So they, you know, wave up to the island and meet with Don Julian's nephew, Anastasio, who was actually the person who went to check on his uncle and found his body in 2001 when he died.
Aw.
Yeah, so that's really sad.
That sucks.
But he describes the event on camera and then mentions, which this is the first time in any research, any like episode, anything that I found, a water spirit of sorts.
Okay.
So Anastasio claims that there is a water spirit dragon snake thing.
That's the thing.
The thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Wazazio.
No.
No?
La Llorona is not that.
Oh.
It's a separate
Oops,
thing.
okay.
No, you're fine.
So I have no... Oh, okay. All right.
That's okay. You're all right. Don't worry about it.
Cool.
We'll go over it another time. So...
Teach me.
It's also spoken of kind of as like a mermaid, but in less like a human fish form, more of like a giant snake is how the people describe it.
Water spirit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not the...
La Llorona?
Yes.
No, that's a completely separate entity.
Okay, so we're done with that.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, so we're...
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're on the water spirit,
Okay,
right?
we're over here.
So this is the first time that spirit is mentioned, and the people, when they're describing it, the best word that translates to is mermaid, which is some weird, like, fish snake thing.
Like a reverse mermaid?
Well, no, because it doesn't have human legs.
Oh.
Beautiful.
Oops.
You're good.
Okay.
So, I've been wanting to use that joke on somebody for probably 10 years. Thank you for
here
that.
we are.
Thank you for that opportunity. This was beautiful. I'm done with life now. This is great.
You're okay.
I've peaked. So this okay, so apparently this spirit dragon snake water demon thingy, right, is responsible for drawing the little girl and Don Julian to their deaths, is
All
what he
right.
claims.
Okay.
So Anastasio says that he saw this water spirit mermaid thing next to Don Julian's body before he fished him out of the canal.
Excuse the fuck out of me, what?
Yeah, no, fuck off. I'm good. So Anastasio said that he also described, after, you know, telling Zach that and then moving on, he didn't, like, segue or anything.
No,
He was just
come
like,
back.
"Ah, this happened." He also says that the dolls move in a particular way, not like just one arm or a head. It's like the whole body moves.
Oh, so he also says that the whole dolls move.
Yes.
Great.
And it was described in the episode that he was the only one that would, like, consistently visit his uncle. Mm-hmm. He had no other family that would, like, go to the island to see him.
Don't blame him.
Yeah, no, me either. Like, I mean, it's sad, but, like, hey, Uncle Don, I'll get you a beer in town, okay? Like,
yeah, get off your island.
No, I'm good.
Let's get you some fresh air.
Right, and remember, this is an island. It doesn't, and like, he doesn't have running water. He doesn't have electricity. It's literally just like a shack. So, I don't like it. So after the crew, at this point, everyone leaves the island because, you know, it's the middle of the day. They're not going to investigate during the day. Mm-hmm. They normally don't. Mm-hmm. The crew leaves to go do some more research. And Zach reveals to the crew that they have a special guest, and he's carrying this old, like, battered suitcase. Mm-hmm. And he warns everybody that no one else besides him should touch, look at, or speak to their special guest. Their special guest is Harold the doll.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
There we go. We're coming full swing.
Here we are. Full circle. So as we learned in the last episode, the owner of Harold the doll took him to Mexico and allowed Zach to bring him to the island of the dolls.
Yeah, because let's just fucking...
Right?
Go full Thunderdome with all these dolls and then Harold the doll.
Right, yeah, like everything's already spooky. Let's just throw Harold in the mix.
Let's just throw Harold the demon doll in there. Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
So here we are. So they actually took Harold to a psychic who said that one of the 5 spirits that inhabit Harold...
Which I said that.
Likes to make people sick, which you also said.
Yes.
So the part you did not say is that the psychic in that conversation made contact with Don Julian's spirit.
Oh, I did not say that because that wasn't part of Harold the doll.
Correct. He says that his favorite doll is named... I'm going to butcher this because it's a Spanish name, which is beautiful, but I am not a Spanish speaker.
Bring it. You ginger...
Augustine? Augustiana? Augustiana. That sounds better. It looks better. That looks more correct. This doll, Don Julian actually made a special shrine for on his island.
No.
Uh-huh. And he asked the Ghost Adventures crew, hey, when you guys go to the island tonight, can you, like, do a cheers for me with my favorite beer? And, like, tells them what his favorite beer is, which I thought was really cute.
That's so...
I was like, shit, that'd be me as a ghost. Let's go.
No, cheers with White Claw.
Woo!
Sponsored by this episode.
I wish. That'd be so nice. It'd be so great. Come on, White Claw, let's go.
My liver, though.
No.
We have to get a doll.
No.
And then cheers to it.
What the fuck kind of... No. Get that shit out of here. No, thank you.
Yep.
I don't want a doll.
You're going to show up one day and I'm going to have a doll. And then we're going to be like, White Claw, cheer to the doll.
I'm going to put it in a closet.
I'm going to put it on the cat tower.
No.
We have to stare at it.
No, I hate that. I hate that idea. I don't like that at all.
All right.
Please, no.
Well, we'll talk about it.
So, the psychic continues that there is a giant spirit snake in the water / mermaid.
Reverse.
Giant mermaid.
Reverse.
Regular mermaid. Not a regular mermaid. Some weird fish snake hybrid. A snish. That lives in the water and lives among the dead, is what she said.
Nah.
Because, I mean, you know, all the soldiers that were thrown into the water, that would actually make sense. They live among the dead. So, that's kind of spooky. I just made that connection. I don't like that.
You did. Look at that. You're being an investigator.
Woo! I'll solve mysteries. That's not true. So she also goes on to say that the little girl and Don Julian were actually taken by the snake. Not that he took them after the death. They were taken. Which I don't like. She then proceeds to tell them to watch out for their hands and arms because that is what spirits like to attack first. She doesn't designate which spirit she's talking about. And as we learned last week, Zach actually ended up having those little tiny Harold-shaped fingerprints on his arm.
On his arm.
Right. So some people are like, oh, she was talking about Harold, and others are like, maybe she was talking about all the dolls on the island. I don't know. So.
Little baby hands.
Little creepy baby hands
on your biceps.
I don't like it. When they finally arrive at the island that evening, shit starts immediately, is what I have written. which is so accurate. So they immediately, as soon as their feet hit the ground on the island, they start hearing banging on the wooden shack and aluminum cans being kicked around. Like, we all know what that sounds like, and that's what they fucking heard. And then as they continue to like move further into the island to like figure out, is somebody here? What's happening? I don't understand. They start video recording on a fire that has started where they got off the boat.
What the fuck is happening?
I swear to God, it's on video. It kind of freaks me out. So, like, the fire starts and it's kind of low, right?
Okay.
And then as they're watching, it starts getting bigger.
Like when they get off, they're on the fire's on the island.
Correct.
With them.
Correct.
Where they got off the boat.
Correct.
A fire just fucking, like, in the grass?
Yes.
Near the water.
Correct.
The fuck?
So they step off the boat, right? And
Right.
like where they step off is where this like fire starts, and they've gone like halfway across the island as they're trying to figure out who's kicking cans.
Right.
And then they turn around and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" So, yeah, that's fun. That happened. That's all on camera with them like seeing the fire start getting bigger, which is kind of crazy. When they finally make it into the shack. Zach, of course, has Harold in his suitcase, and he starts to, like, remove Harold from the case, being the dramatic boy that he is.
Yeah, that was the scene that I watched where he's like, "Are you ready? Are you ready?
Are you guys ready?
I'm gonna take him out now.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it.
Which,
I'm gonna do it. Don't fucking. I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it." So, which doesn't surprise me, to be fair, because he's terrified of dolls, and the idea of taking out, like, an incredibly haunted doll in an island of already haunted dolls, like, I don't think that was a good idea.
I'm really surprised
Zachary.
he didn't wear brown pants.
He should have. Maybe that's why they didn't have the heat thingy, thermal imaging. Maybe that's why. So that was rude. I'm so sorry, Zach Bagans. If you listen to this, I apologize.
No, you're not. You're not sorry.
So he goes to remove the doll from its case, and one of the baby dolls on the wall starts laughing. Right?
The mechanical, like, how it's supposed to if it had fucking batteries.
Which it does not have. The second time that he, you know, like, they all, like, he opens that, like, he does that, and, like, everybody freaks the fuck out and runs.
Yes.
Which is understandable.
Yeah, because if I heard
what
a
the fuck?
baby doll laugh with no batteries that it's supposed to
Bye.
have, I would take the fuck off.
See you later. So the next time that he goes to open it, two cats start fighting, just going at it. So loud. Like they're yelling at each other, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody loses their mind. Which, I mean, to be fair, if you heard cats scream fighting that close to you when you're already on it.
Right, and you're already on an island. Why are there cats on the fucking island?
Right. It sounds like it is literally in the room with them.
Yes, it was fucking loud.
No. It startles everybody away from the shack, which is reasonable. Zach ends up after that, when they have Harold out, finally. He pulls out the spirit box and is holding Harold and asks, "Are you trapped inside these dolls?" And the spirit box says, "I don't like her, stupid," in a deep man's voice.
Who the fuck is talking?
I don't know.
I don't like her, stupid.
Yeah,
it's probably Harold talking about the little girl.
Yeah, that's my personal assumption, because one of the spirits that's said to inhabit Harold is a man. A very deep-voiced man.
Yes.
So, that's my assumption.
And a demon.
A man. So, so, the rest of the night, they hear periodically screaming, crying, footsteps, children laughing, singing, all night. Just on and off.
Jesus.
Some of it they caught on camera, some of it they did not, but it happens the whole time they're there.
Just nonstop Thunderdome.
Yeah. That's the island of the dolls, my friends. I don't ever want to go. Yeah, here we are. I don't like it. It spooks me a little bit because I don't like dolls to begin with. And there's like, they're all haphazard and like tied to the trees like by their necks or like nails through their hair or whatever.
Some of them hanging from a clothesline?
Yeah, and there's some that were like on a chain link fence around the outside and like a couple other things. I'm not a fan.
I don't like it.
It kind of scares me. Looking at pictures of it legitimately freaked me out because I'm not a baby doll person and I never have been.
Yeah.
And it gives me the spookening. So
that's fair.
Here we are.
It's funny that you say the dolls because my mom had a porcelain doll in my room.
Get that shit out.
Right.
No.
And I got into arguments with her. I'm like, take the doll out of my room. And she's like, no, it's a porcelain doll and I want you to put... No! At what point do you, one, think that I want a fucking doll, and two, they're creepy. Get it out of my room. And I
hate that so much.
It was one of the dolls, and it was actually like a top of the line porcelain doll with a very nice dress on it. But
I mean, that's nice, but get that shit out of your room.
But what really creeped me out is it's one of those where if you laid it down, its eyelids would shut.
Okay.
I hated it.
Bro, my mom had a doll like that. My mom was born in 1954, okay? Like, she's older, right?
Right.
She had a doll from when she was 10 years old, and that was when it was manufactured, right?
Jesus.
So, like, it's, like, old, hard plastic, and its eyes did that. Its name was Roberta.
How about the fuck not?
Right? And her dog had chewed on it, so, like, bits of the fingers and stuff were missing, and I was like, Mom, I hate that, and I want it out of the house. And she kept it in my room in a little, like, bassinet rocking chair fucking thing, and I was like, no, I'm good. Mm-mm. So I think
mom did the same thing.
Why are parents awful sometimes?
Yeah. Like, don't put furniture in your children's bedroom that they do not want.
Correct. It's creepy and not okay.
Right. I don't want a rocking chair and I don't want a baby crib in my room.
Nope. And I had both. So here we are.
Oh, so here we are. Okay, I don't feel so alone.
Nope. It's not just you.
Okay, so before we start my topic,
yeah,
I want to make an shout out. Let's do a shout out. Let's call it shout outs. Shout outs to our first Patreon members.
Yes.
We have 3 so far.
Gimme.
We have Rachel.
Yes.
Gwen.
Thank you.
And
Isaac.
Sir Isaac Charles Wiener.
Which is
Icy Wiener.
Straight scream
Icy
laughed
Wiener.
the first time that I read. I was like, what? I see. And then I cackled for a solid 5 minutes.
Icy
Easy.
Wiener. Icy Wiener. We know who it is.
Yep.
Well, you guessed who it was.
Yeah, I did. Immediately. I was like, so
I told the person if they guessed it right.
Yeah.
That person is also subscribed to their family members podcast.
It's the same thing.
And they don't know. And that was like 3 years ago.
That's so funny.
So their family member does not know it's them. So it's an ongoing joke. So
it gives me all the laughter, which I appreciate.
Rachel, Gwen, and Icy Wiener, thanks you so much for believing in us and what we do. It means the world to us.
You really do, though. Appreciate you.
So moving on.
Yes, tell me about your topic this week. How are you going to spook me?
Katie Groves.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about Alcatraz.
Ooh.
Which I was a little upset.
Okay.
Because there's not like a huge, big, like whopper story.
Ooh.
It's just like there's a couple little dinky things. Even though it's supposed to be one of the most haunted prisons in all of America.
Well, I mean, most haunted places claim that, to be fair.
Yes.
So I'm not really sure, like...
Now, I'll give it its just reward that it is very active. Because I watched, what's it called? A new ghost hunting.
Spooky ghost show.
Yeah, called Ghost Labs
Okay.
by Discovery.
Okay.
They went there.
Uh-huh.
I didn't like it, so I had a hard time watching it, but one of their cameras got flipped over, like, first thing. So, like, they have constant active, but they don't have, like, a huge...
list
or, like, a huge, like, demonic presence. It's just constant.
Fair.
Annoying.
I mean, I'll take, like... spooky little stuff happening over like demons.
So, there's maybe one demon here.
I don't like that.
One.
I just like the hair on the back of my neck stood up when you said that. I don't like that.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Well, we'll get there.
Yeah. Proceed.
Okay. So a little bit of history first before we get into it because we have to know how it is. It's the reason why it is, right?
Correct.
So
history is my favorite part. Tell me.
Oh, nerd. So the Alcatraz, the name Alcatraz is from, because I wanted to look up. Oh, question for you.
Answer, hopefully.
No, you'll know.
Okay.
What is the name of the prison in Harry Potter?
Azkaban?
Azkaban. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, see, that was an easy mode question.
Oh, yeah, because I don't do Harry Potter, but I was like, for real, like, is the prison there also named Alcatraz? But it's very close. That's why I had that connection.
Very similar.
I was trying to remember to ask you that. So anyways, okay.
Yeah,
that was
Joe Rowling's not overly original. So here we are.
All right, so it's probably some derivative.
Go ahead.
Anyways, okay. So I looked up what Alcatraz means, and that's archaic Spanish to what people think. It's not like 100% confirmed, but in archaic old Spanish, like we have old English, right?
Yeah.
Old Spanish for pelican, because there's a lot of reports of when the island was first being discovered that it was covered in pelicans.
That's a fucking weird
Brown pelicans? Like, there's a specific type of pelican in the San Francisco Bay.
I didn't even know there were different kinds of pelican.
Yeah.
I mean, it would make sense because birds, but what the fuck?
So, in 1775, the island was first explored by a Spanish naval officer, and the Spanish had built a few little buildings on the island. So, the first private owner of Alcatraz Island was William Workman, who was granted the island from the Mexican governor Pio Pico in 1846. So, the ownership of the island was kind of back and forth a little bit between people. So, in 1846, John C. Fremont, I think is how you pronounce that, was the active military governor of California at the time, the champion of Manifest Destiny, and the leader of the Bear Flag Republic, bought the island for $5,000, which equates to, I did look it up finally, $144,000.
Okay, which is still fairly...
It's a
fairly cheap, all things considered.
Considering
like
it's
for
an
land.
island.
Yeah.
It's a smallish island.
Yeah, I mean, I would take a loan for $100,000 to buy an island.
Would you?
Maybe not. I mean, it would depend on a lot of factors, a lot of things.
If the Indians called it the island, the Devil's Island, would you then?
No.
Okay, all right.
No, well, I mean, maybe for like haunted tours because I could make money long term, but like maybe not. I don't know.
Okay, all right. Well, there's that.
I don't think it was called that.
He bought it. He bought it in the name of the U.S. Now, it didn't really go into detail about like, did he buy it? Shh, quiet, computer.
She's screaming.
It didn't say whether or not he ordered it like with his money or like California's tax money, but it was just a funny thing because it was like he bought it in the name of the U.S., then gave it to the U.S., and the U.S. was like, no, that was an invalid transaction. We're not giving you your money back.
What the fuck?
I thought that I cackled for like 2 minutes about that.
What
I was
a
like,
weenie.
That's the U.S. for you. So,
I mean, you're not incorrect.
So in 1850, the president at the time, Fillmore, ordered the island to be utilized for military reservation following the Mexican-American War. So even though the U.S. government...
1911. No, that's not correct.
No,
that was the Mexican Revolution.
1850. So even though the U.S. was like, that's an invalid transaction, still took the island and did not give him his money back.
That sounds so American.
Yep. So in 1853, some construction began on the island to protect the coastline, protect the San Francisco Bay from that little island, which is... Maybe I shouldn't say little. I don't. Maybe my opinion, it's a little-ish island, but it's actually decently large.
Well, I mean...
For an island.
Yeah.
So the final construction of Fort Alcatraz, because it started as a fort, was completed in 1858, where 200 soldiers were stationed there.
Damn.
So during the Civil War in 1861, 105 cannons were added onto the fort.
That's a lot.
This fort was also used to store firearms, imprison Confederate sympathizers, privateers, and prisoners of war.
Confederate sympathizers?
Yes. Out in California, apparently. So...
Wow.
Going real. So starting in 1863, so 2 years later, citizens accused of treason were also put there. So private, not like...
Yeah, which I mean, same thing.
That's the same thing as Confederate sympathizers.
Yeah,
but
basically because you're committing treason against your country.
But it made a note of like private citizens were now being put here rather than like military forces. Kind of like a
kind of thing, yeah.
So in 1867, a
I believe
brick
in you.
Jailhouse.
There we go.
As a jick. I put the J before the brick. Woo! White Claw. So was built on the island for long-term military prisoners. So before it was any prisoners they had on the island was being stored underneath the guard tower, I think is what it said. Okay. So it wasn't like an official jail. Right. People were just being stored in wherever they could put in a room on an island. So, here we go. Previously, people were held in the basement of the guardhouse. Boom. Oh, nice. There we go.
Got it.
All right. So, in 1898, the Spanish-American Civil War caused the amount of prisoners to increase. And also, the San Francisco earthquake, I think it was 1901 that happened.
Yeah, because that's when it destroyed the Winchester House, too.
Yes, same earthquake. Nah. So when that happened... Civilian prisoners from San Francisco were moved to Alcatraz. Okay. So because of these two events, that is when in 1909 construction of the main concrete building that you see today started. Oh. Which ended in 19 12. So it took 4 years to build.
Okay. Which is not a terribly long time, all things considered, because you're shipping a shit ton of stuff across the ocean.
Yeah, and apparently the harbor is pretty rough, too.
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, all the uninterrupted waves from that ocean coming in.
Yes.
Like,
so, rough waters, takes 4 years to build. So before it became the prison, like as we know it today, it did hold prisoners during World War One.
Okay.
So I don't know to what caliber degree.
Right. Just that they were there.
Just there was World War One prisoners there. In 1933, Alcatraz was finally declared a federal penitentiary.
Oof.
Boom. There you go. So
what year was that?
1933.
Okay. 33. Oof.
The penitentiary was declared with the idea to hold prisoners who caused more trouble at other prisons.
Oh, so it was like a prison for already prison.
This was the prison of prisons.
Okay.
So this was...
Shit.
Yes.
This is like the Big Papa you fucked up.
Yes, this is why so many bad people were here.
Okay, that makes sense.
It was...
I've always heard that like Alcatraz was like the worst prison.
Yes.
But I guess when you already fucked up at another prison, why would they not have a prison for those prisoners? Like, that makes sense.
Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's what that was intended for. So,
Oof.
137 prisoners were transported from Kansas to California, escorted by 60 FBI agents, U.S. Marshals, and railway
Yes.
security officers.
That's a fuck ton of people.
So during this time, most of these people who were the bad of the bad were mobsters. So this is right around that time period. So it was bank robbers and murderers of like mobsters.
Yeah.
So that's who we're
big murders.
Yes. So that's who's being transferred to.
That's fair.
To this prison. So there are 336 main cells and 42 solitary confinement cells.
No. I hate solitary confinement.
So there was two type of solitary confinement cells. There was
there's more than one.
Yeah, so there were, let me see if I can get this right. There was just the regular solitary confinement where it was you had a mattress, toilet, sink, and a light bulb.
Yeah.
And then you didn't see the light of day.
Fuck that.
I think that's, and then some said that like they take the mattress out during the day. Some said that it wasn't. So it was just the basic. You didn't leave it. You didn't leave. These solitary confinement cells, you did not leave. You didn't even get to leave for a shower. You stayed. Then there were strip cells.
Okay.
You stripped completely fucking naked.
Right.
You were thrown into the cell.
No.
There was no sink.
I hate it.
No water. No toilet. There was a hole in the ground.
What the fuck?
No light bulb. And no mattress.
So, like, isolation by itself is torture.
Yes.
But dehumanizing isolation, I feel like, has another step of fucked up.
Yep.
I hate that.
Yep.
That makes me so mad.
Yeah, so they also didn't let those people leave either.
What the fuck,
Yeah,
dude?
so this one also had the dungeon, which is not commonly talked about because I had to dig a little bit to find that. They also had what was called the dungeon, which was put in, that was used during the time that the dungeon, so while it was a prison, there was a part of the prison that was called the dungeon, which was basically an underground basement that was once a barracks, but then turned into a part of a prison block.
Well, I hate it.
Where prisoners would be chained up in the basement.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so that you have to dig for that one. I had to dig for that one. And prisoners would be chained up and then left down there in the freezing cold, sometimes naked, sometimes not, sometimes pretty
I hate that.
Pretty fucked up. Fed like bread and water once a day for like the really bad fucked up people. So
right, I bet.
Yes, it was. Which is weird because you get multiple sides of this prison was actually treated their people well, but then also didn't. So you get like these two sides of it was actually a pretty decent prison for like the people they were holding.
Right.
But then it was also
really shitty.
Strip cells.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So
I hate that more than a lot of things.
It was rough. So on average, the prison never reached full capacity.
Well, I could imagine not.
Yes. So on average, there was usually 260 men.
Okay.
And the max was 308.
Okay. So they were fairly well below max.
Yeah.
Then.
So the average amount of time a person spent in this prison was 8 years.
Oh,
So,
wow.
or some people died there. Yeah. So,
See, I'm so, like, backwards now thinking about how, like, the prison system functions today, where there are so many people who are in there for such a long time versus in the early 1900s, it was just, oh, you serve 8 years in a maximum security prison, and then you're good. Like,
so notable people that stayed at Alcatraz was, of course, Al Capone,
ooh,
Robert Franklin Stroud, or Birdman of Alcatraz.
okay.
You're going to have to tell me who these people are because I just know they're mobsters, but not what
Okay.
they did. George Machine Gun Kelly,
Yes.
Arthur R. Doc Barker,
Okay, I don't know that one.
and then Alvin Creepy Carpus.
I also don't know that one.
He spent the longest time in Alcatraz. So here we are.
Okay.
So those were just notable people that stayed there. I don't know.
Okay.
Just fun facts.
Okay.
During the 29 years of operation, it was like shy of 29. It
I was
was
going to say,
20,
that's pretty short.
28 in like 8 months, I
some
think.
change.
28 years
Okay.
and some change. Yeah. No prisoner has ever successfully escaped Alcatraz.
I mean, fair.
There was, out of 14 escape attempts, there were 36 prisoners among these 14 escape attempts, right? 23 were caught and returned. 6 were shot and killed.
Okay.
2 drowned while trying to swim the bay.
Right.
And 5 are listed as missing and presumed drowned.
I know about that. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
That's cool. Mythbusters did a whole thing on it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it was a really good episode.
They made it a point that during the time they said that bay could not, that stretch between Alcatraz and shore could not be swam.
Correct.
But there's now triathlons or marathons
Right.
that take place, so people swim that distance. So it is possible, but I guess maybe not people.
Well, I mean, also you have to take into factor. Good God, you have to factor in the way that the waves come in off of that ocean, because that's what makes it unswimmable. I can't fucking talk. Jesus
Well, it's
Lord.
more White Claws. You've had
3
3. There we are. So they drowned or presumed dead.
presumed.
So here we are. There was also the Battle of Alcatraz.
What?
It was a 2-day-long battle
Okay.
between armed convicts and the officers of the prison.
Oh shit.
So during this time, I didn't read really too much into the details. There's, obviously,
Yeah.
it was five convicts who were trying to escape, and
Fought everybody in the place.
yes,
Oof.
for 2 days,
Jesus.
which is crazy. So 2 officers were killed, and 3 convicts that were leading the battle were also killed, and the other 2 who started it were executed.
Ooh.
So there was
Right.
there was like 14 other people injured.
Right.
It was
That's a lot.
it was a time. So during the 29 years, so 29 years later,
Yeah.
1963, Alcatraz was finally closed.
Okay.
Because it was too expensive to operate.
Oh.
It was
that makes sense.
$10 per prisoner per day.
That's so expensive.
Yeah, and it said in Atlanta it was $3 per
Yeah.
prisoner per day.
Yeah,
so
no.
it was quite expensive to hold these guys here.
Right. Well, I mean, it makes sense because, you have to figure out a way to, like, run the generators.
Oh yeah, because
For
it's
the
also on
place.
the ocean.
Yeah. Because it's not got, like, a hydro-powered water thing.
Oh, I'm sure not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out how to run your electricity, figure out your water,
I'm sure
like,
they had
do
to
all your stuff.
pay the people more because of
because-
the max
Right. And the risk of getting super murdered.
super. So then also because of that, the salt water had eroded the concrete building,
Oh.
and that erosion led to one of the attempted escapes. So I think it was shortly after that they were just like, you know what, it's too expensive to maintain this place because of the salt water, and that happened. So let's just not. So it was
makes
closed.
sense.
And then the national park system people group,
Yeah.
I don't
the
know.
people group.
the people group,
The National Park People Group.
whatever that association is called,
Right.
took in the
Yeah.
took in the prison, and
Okay.
then you can go there and tour it. So
Oh,
they
that's
still
cool.
maintain it. They still patrol it. They still let
Yeah.
you go check it out and get apparently creepy hauntings going
Oh,
on.
that's
So
cool.
It's pretty neat. So to the hauntings.
Tell me.
In a utility corridor, like I was
Okay.
talking about the escapes, 3 inmates, Coy, Cresser, and Hubbard, were shot and killed trying to escape. So they were
Okay.
killed in this corridor. And a security guard in the 1970s reported hearing clanging sounds coming from this corridor. Okay. Kind of like gunshots, kind of like clanging, like maybe they're
shuffling some metal.
They're handcuffs, maybe, trying to escape. So that was just a story that I found.
Okay.
So there's some residual activity going on in this hallway because of, and people equate it to it being those 3 inmates being shot and killed.
Makes sense.
The notorious cell 14D.
Okay.
Which is one of the solitary confinement cells.
Okay.
Not the strip cells. It was one of the ones that still had like a bed and a sink.
Okay.
When people visit this cell, they often report that there's an extreme cold or they have an intense feeling when entering the room. It is also noted that it is the most coldest room in the entire prison.
I hate that.
And it's just on the bottom floor of a particular wing or a block that they call it.
Right.
It's just on the first floor. There's no reason why it should be colder than anywhere else in the building.
Right, especially if it's, adjacent to other rooms.
And it's not like on the end. Like it's
like a center one.
Yep. So
I don't like that.
When people go in, they have reported hearing moaning or sighing.
Oh.
One person reported they had chest pains or shortness of breath.
Okay.
And dizziness and vertigo also happens.
Okay.
When they go into this room.
Question.
Answer.
Did someone get strangled?
Are you ready?
Here?
Are you ready?
Oh, fuck. Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
so glad you asked that, Zoe. Let me fucking
ahead.
tell you. So in the 1940s, after 3 years of spending his time in solitary confinement.
3 of 8, solitary confinement. That's why. Proceed.
Yes. Apparently the inmate was named McCain.
Okay.
I think is what I caught. I'm not quite sure.
Oh, no.
During his time in there, it was like, I guess at night-ish, was screaming for hours on end that there was a creature in the room with him with glowing red eyes.
I hate that.
That was screaming that it was going to kill him and was killing him.
I hate that.
Screaming for hours. It was noted 4 hours, and the guards...
Why the fuck would you not check on that guy?
The guards just dismissed it.
That is
ignored it.
The definition of a cock dick.
Cock dick.
You're gonna fucking hear this dude scream crying that he's getting murdered, and then you're just gonna, oh no, he'll be fine, don't worry about it. Like, fuck you.
The next morning, he was found strangled to death.
You can't strangle yourself.
It was not concluded who strangled the inmate, and the wounds could not have been self-inflicted.
Correct. You can't strangle yourself. That's not how that works.
It was also... Shit, what was I gonna say?
Awful?
Oh, the strangle wounds were noted to be very weird. They were not like a straight rope line kind of. They were just odd. That was just a note that was made. It's that they were not of normal strangulation marks.
Okay. Okay. So here's the thing.
Tell me the thing.
For someone to look at this body, right, and go, it's an odd strangulation mark. Mm-hmm. That's not people hands. Mm-hmm. That's not people hands. Mm-hmm. Because nobody that's ever worked in a coroner's office is going to look at somebody that got strangled and be like,
demon
that's
hands.
Weird.
That's
so strange. That looks like a strange mark. It's not like, he was wearing a ring. That's what made it weird. No.
Well, you gotta... No. It's also inmates, so no one
has jewelry.
Cares.
Yeah, no. But...
So...
No one just says that's a strange marking. Like, that's not a people murder, everyone.
Yes.
I don't like that.
No?
I don't like that.
Well, other people have also reported seeing the glowing red eyes.
Oh, cool. And they live?
Yeah. No one else has died in the cell, apparently.
Because they're not trapped.
So, don't look at me like that. The lights are off and you look creepy with the fucking laptop glow on your face.
And my glasses, you're welcome.
Yeah, so people have also seen like a black mist inside of the cell.
I hate that so much.
It's a pretty rough cell. So the next day, another story that I found, the next day after this inmate was killed,
right,
the guards did a head count.
Oh no.
And the guards counted one too many convicts.
Because they saw the demon in the cell, didn't they?
No, they had them in a line.
Oh, okay.
So they called them out, like in the block to count them. And then probably security measures of like who's missing, who strangled this guy, how did that happen? So apparently one of the guards noted that they saw an inmate that was dead standing in line and then it vanished.
Oh, I hate that.
So there was a dead inmate standing in line, and he got counted because he looked too fucking real.
Maybe that's why nobody else ever died in that cell, because they were like, we're not going to use that one again. Fucking idiots.
I hope not, because Jesus. Whew,
I hate that so much.
So one of the wardens, Warden Johnston.
Johnston.
I hate that name.
I don't like that.
While showing some guests around the prison, he and the group heard sobbing within the prison wall. So I guess like in their immediate area-ish, kind of.
You know I don't like stuff coming out of walls.
And then immediately a cold breeze blew by them.
Gross.
There was no explanation. Like the warden could not give a reason, nor any of the guests. Like all the guests heard the sobbing, and then all of them felt like the really cold breeze inside the prison, which there shouldn't be a breeze.
No, not inside a closed building.
No. So
that's not how that works.
No explanation to why that happened, but the warden had made that note of that encounter. So the other cell blocks, A, B, and C, as I said, typical, constant, ongoing bullshit that happens in this prison. Moans, screaming, crying, door slamming, footsteps, and gunshots are also heard from within these cell blocks.
That's a lot.
Yeah, like when people go there, it's usually you hear screaming, you get crying, like those are usually, like you get it constantly.
So like the screaming and crying freaks me out, like on a deep level, like imagining hearing that, but I would jump so fucking high if I heard a gunshot.
Yeah.
Like either that or I would just drop to the ground expecting someone was shooting at me.
Yeah, but
like,
you know, we play, is it fireworks or gunshots here in the South? So.
Correct, and I hit the ground for both, just in case.
I hate that so much.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was a thing until later in my life.
You're welcome.
Even though I lived here for so long. Anyways.
Gross.
A psychic.
Yes.
Came in to visit the prison, and while in cell block C, they encountered a negative spirit called the Butcher.
Oh, I hate that.
A man by the name of Abby Moldowitz was assassinated in cell block C in the 1940s. After looking through the records, this Moldowitz fellow was nicknamed the Butcher because he was a hitman for the mob.
Oh.
So the psychic encountered his spirit still within cell block C.
Oh.
And other people have reported seeing an apparition of a man in cell block C.
Okay.
Being not nice.
Okay.
So here we are.
Alduin the Butcher.
Moldowitz.
Moldowitz the Butcher.
Yes. I think
misheard his name.
Witz is Jewish?
Potentially?
Potentially?
I don't know.
So the dungeon, as I was mentioning before,
tell me,
was built before the prison, before the main concrete prison was built, was originally established as the barracks.
Oh.
But when the prison was built, this is where the prisoners were chained to the walls, fed only bread and water, and left in the freezing cold, pitch black.
I hate that
so
so
in 1942, so about 9 years into the prison operations, was ruled cruel and unusual punishment, and the dungeon was closed and not
Thank
to be
you, Dorothea
used.
Dix.
Yeah, so no more of that, no more of that. But all kinds of noises are heard in the dungeon, so kind of like the same humming, sighing, moaning, clacking of shackles.
I hate that.
Are in the basement.
Right.
Also, when people go into the dungeon, they have just a really heavy feeling.
Oh, for sure.
Like, just, you can't shake it. It is just, when you go in the basement, it's like,
everything's garbage.
Everything existential dread increases when people go into the dungeon.
Understandably so. Nothing happy is called the dungeon.
For a fucking reason. So, Al Capone...
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Al
Capone was here.
Al Capone, way over here.
He was over here.
As I was writing this whole thing, I just had my northern accent started going.
So
he, while at Alcatraz, joined the prison band.
Wow, what'd he play?
The banjo.
Was it a 4 or 5 string?
Did not fucking look into it because you play the banjo.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, fucking musical instrument. So
that's a beautiful instrument. No, shut up.
Ugh. So he never went out to the prison yard because he was afraid he was gonna get fucking murdered.
Well, I mean, understandably fucking Al Capone.
I wrote in my notes. He was afraid he was gonna get whacked.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
legitimately true. Probably would have happened.
So he never went out into the courtyard, never went out into the prison yard to play with the other prisoners. So
to play with the other prisoners.
So instead of...
He never got his playtime.
So...
I'm sorry.
Oh, Jesus.
Ooh.
It's because you had to go into quarantine and we haven't been around each other in like 2 weeks.
True. Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Oh, God.
Proceed.
You didn't get COVID, though, so that's nice.
Yeah, so thank God for that.
Woo! So he wanted to practice the banjo, but he didn't want to go out to the courtyard to do it. So he got special permission to practice in the shower room. Because only people were allowed in the shower room during certain periods. So obviously when the shower room was not occupied, he went in there and practiced on his banjo.
To be safety boy.
To be safe and not get murdered in the face. He was not murdered in the face while Alcatraz.
Correct.
He got transferred out because of untreated syphilis. Okay.
How the fuck? Okay.
I don't know. So a park ranger patrolling the prison because the National Park Association people, wizards.
Association lizards. The Wizards Guild.
They are in charge of the park at now. So heard banjo music.
I hate that.
Coming from the shower room.
So like, as a Southerner who loves the fucking banjo, like if you hear banjo music just disembodied by itself,
run.
Get the fuck out.
That's a class 9. I'll give it a class 9. Eat yourself out the window.
I mean, yeah.
Other people also report hearing the banjo within the prison walls. So that's just a constant, like in that area-ish.
I don't like it.
Banjo noises. So outside of all of that, there's just the general paranormal reports that goes on.
Certainly.
Guards would smell smoke.
Okay.
Very, very strongly, very definitely
smoke.
Would smell it. And there would be no fires, nothing.
Okay.
There's no fires that were reported ever. At
Okay.
least in my research, there was no fire. So they'd smell. There's constantly smells being smelled, and there's no reason to smell the smells that are smelling.
Right.
Cold spots throughout the prison all the time. Just constant. It's cold.
Yeah.
And it's a concrete, solid building. There should be pockets of cold.
Yeah, it should be a
air.
relatively similar temperature all throughout.
Correct. Reports of seeing prisoners or military personnel.
I hate that.
Just apparitions or just shadows, that fun stuff throughout the prison. Hey, very clear EVPs can be heard of prisoners talking. So I saw multiple accounts of where paranormal investigators would go in and do their sessions, and they would get pretty decently clear EVPs throughout the entire prison. So
yowzers.
Most of them were just, it sounded like the prisoners talking. There was one where it was like the dark is power, and it's like no, I don't think so.
I don't like that.
Mostly prisoners that are talking.
Okay.
Women who usually go through the prison usually experience more activity.
Oh no.
Yes.
I don't like that.
Yes. So the ghost labs that I was watching, they have one girl on the team, and they sent her to like the dungeon and made her sit down there and do a session. I didn't watch what had happened, but
okay. I don't like that.
Yeah. So women going through a prison.
Yep.
Apparently
that's cool.
Yeah, 'cause they get poked, tapped, touched more often.
Yeah, which I mean that makes sense.
More,
I don't like it.
I don't
but it makes sense.
but here we are. Then lastly, Native American and Civil War era soldiers can be seen throughout the entire island. So outside of the prison.
Ew.
Right. So where this island was a military outpost rather than a prison. And Native Americans also inhabited. There was also a thing between the Native Americans and the U.S. about this island. So there was a thing about that in the 1800s, not the 80s, 1800s.
You're good.
About this island. So those apparitions can also be seen on the entire island. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the Native Americans coined the island as Devil's Island in the 1800s.
I hate it.
So it was already presumed that this island was going to be shit before the prison was put on it.
I mean, they were right.
They were right.
Unfortunately, they were correct.
So apparently it's just a constant shit show in that prison.
It's a disaster, it sounds like.
Like a hot disaster. So
the thing about Al Capone and untreated syphilis makes me laugh, though.
Why?
I don't know. Just like, did he have it before he went? Did he get it there? Did someone, like, rub his soap on their syphilis-infected areas? Like, what happened?
I don't know.
I want to know.
Well, I'm going to leave that up for an exercise for the students
Okay.
to do their research if they want to know more.
Okay, somebody let me know what happened to Al Capone and his syphilis. Why it
You
happened.
research it. Don't subject somebody else to that fuck show.
I mean, we should all learn together, right?
Oh my god. Okay, so that's
pretty good, though.
That's Alcatraz.
That was a pretty good story.
So that's here we are.
All right, cool.
Faux show.
I like it a lot more than my Doll Island, so...
You love Doll Island.
Shut up. No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
I like Concrete Island, which is Alcatraz much better.
Fuck yeah, concrete.
Oh, God. Okay, so
if you like us and you enjoyed listening to our
Yeah.
7th episode.
Oh,
yes,
shit,
we're on
yeah.
Episode
Hot
7.
damn, look at us.
Where was I going with that? Oh,
We were thanking them.
thanks for tuning in. And we're a fucking hot mess today. Wow.
You're damn right.
So check us out on our website. It should be, by the time this episode published, we should have the full episode.
Full website.
Website up and going.
Yes.
So check us out on our website at www.haunther.com. And if you'd like to support us and we'll give you a shout out.
Yes.
When you subscribe to us.
Yes.
And we'll say thank you.
Very, very profuse thank yous.
Yes. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support. It's really nice. You can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/haunther. I barely know her. If you see the running theme at this point. Mm-hmm. And you can also check out our
social medias.
I'm like blanking. I'm struggling. Please help me. What is it, Zoe?
HHIBKH podcast on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes, the handle's the same thing.
Yes. So come find us, interact with us, let us know what you think.
Yes. I'm usually on. I love the Instagram. I don't particularly care for the Twitter. I'm slacking on the Twitter. I'm so sorry.
Fine. I'm starting to take over the Twitter. Don't worry about it.
Can you take the Twitter and I take?
Dog.
Thank God.
I like Twitter better than Instagram.
I love
80 fucking 5.
I love the Instagram better than the Twitter.
Okay, great.
Okay, I'll just send you the stuff then. I'll be like, you do it.
Good team.
Cool.
All right, cool.
That's cool.
So
Okay.
until next time.
So check us out. Find us there.
Yeah.
Reach out to us. Oh, one more thing.
Shit. Okay,
on our
what's
website,
Yes.
and I'll probably announce this a couple times, on our contact us page,
yeah.
Blake and I worked on, mostly Blake, I just sat there and ate chicken and biscuit crackers and yelled
Sounds
at him.
good.
We have a suggestion box.
Yeah.
Yes, so if you have a suggestion.
I'm so excited. I'm learning about this with y'all.
Oh, I didn't tell you about it.
No, tell me.
I'm pretty sure
Tell me.
Oh, I guess I didn't.
No, it's fine.
Okay, so we have a suggestion box, and you can put in your name or leave yourself anonymous.
Yeah.
And then you can give a suggestion. If we like it and we talk about it and we think it's a very good, solid suggestion, we will give you a shout out and a thank you for suggesting the topic.
I love that.
Yes.
Tell me all of your stories, children. I want to know what to do.
I think eventually we'll do like a tell us your story.
Oh, God, that'd be so much fun.
And then we'll maybe read it out loud. But for now, we're just going to do topic suggestions. So if you know of a haunted place, item, whatever, poltergeist, anything haunted related going with our themes, and you want to throw that out there, throw it in the suggestion box. It gets emailed to us, so we'll check that out, and then we'll give you a shout out if we talk about it, which is pretty cool. So
until next time,
haunt her.
I barely know her. Bye-bye.
That's...